which Mario Odyssey captures would make the Super Bowl starting lineup? Today, we're going to determine which captures are good enough to play in the NFL by ranking them 1 through 10 in various categories, such as size, what their vertical is, how far they can throw a football, whether or not they can score a field goal, or whether or not they can do a tush push. In the end, our goal is to have the most stacked Super Bowl starting lineup ever seen that could actually compete against an NFL team. First off, we need to elect a team coach, and I figured, hey, why not elect Mario himself? You can't tell me you don't see the similarities between Mario and Andy Reid. I mean, come on. Let's just hope Mario doesn't make any bad draft picks to screw us over. Well, Mario's first act as team coach is to decide on a team name. It seems he chose to call the team the Toast Arena Brutals. His home field is in the Sand Kingdom, and he plans to host practices here due to the wide open fields and dunes in the area. Well, good choice, Mario. We're not gonna fire you yet. Our first capture is the frog, and I'm gonna be completely real with you, I think this frog gets about a 2 in size. Now, where this capture's strength is gonna come in is obviously in the vertical jump height. This frog can just jump over all of the defense like super easily. And of course, not to mention, the frog probably has some pretty sticky webbed feet, so I doubt they're gonna drop the football anytime soon. Not bad for our first capture. He has a total score of 26. Guys, I thought Mario was small, but if you look at the frog, well, I'm not so sure. Next up is our boy, the Spark Pylon. The only way this would work is if the NFL somehow made it legal for there to be like power lines running across the field. But if there's no power lines across the field, then this thing isn't even gonna be able to move in the first place. But at the same time, think about how it could like electrocute literally everyone. Someone would try to tackle it, and I can guarantee you that would be a horrible idea for them. We're back in Cap Kingdom here for our next capture, and that is of course the Paragoomba. This thing is going to be insane in an NFL game. I mean, just imagine it. The Goomba could literally fly over all of the defense. I guess really the only problem is they would have trouble holding the football because they don't have any arms. They could balance it on top of their head, right? I mean, that would work. The next 3 are just the chain chomp captures in general. Imagine this guy on defense. He could literally just aim his body towards them and smash them out of the way. This guy would absolutely crush the offensive line. Not only that, but they could probably eat someone too, which is technically against the rules. At least I hope it is. As for the game face, yeah, I wouldn't say that's a game face. I would say that's a creepy face. Next is the T-Rex. If this thing doesn't get drafted, then I don't know what is. Mario would be absolutely crazy not to get this thing on his team. Speaking of chain chomps, he can absolutely destroy chain chomps too, so I guess they're not really going to be that effective on defense. He's like a 10 in size, probably like a 10 in offense and a 10 in special, because he's just so scary. I don't know if he'd be good at a tush push though, because he doesn't really have the arms to actually push someone across the line. Our next capture is the Binoculars. These things get a total score of 12 because I don't think they would be very useful in an actual game. The only thing they would be useful for is like if the coach could have it and the coach could just like look through the binoculars and scope out the other team. Oh my goodness. These binoculars are taller than Mario. Okay, hear me out. What if we do some insane trick play with the Bullet Bill? Like imagine somehow we got the Bullet Bill to count as the actual football. Then this thing could just absolutely rush to the end zone. I feel like this is the sort of thing that should be drafted as a running back because this thing can just plow through people. The Moe-Eye has a 4-1-1 but a 10 in special for one reason alone. Oh, come on, I just died. He has the coolest shades I've ever seen. People are literally going to look at him and cower in fear because of how cool he is. We're 10 captures in, and I think Mario's ready to make his first draft pick. With the first draft pick in the Mario Odyssey NFL draft, Mario selects the T-Rex capture with a total of 31 out of 40 points. We're gonna put him in the wide receiver position. Next up, we have the Cactus here. This thing could be a pretty good defender. It's literally just gonna poke everyone in the eye. And if it pokes people in the eye, then it makes them go blind. So yeah, this one's gonna be pretty good. The problem is this thing just doesn't have speed. Let's test something real quick. Oh yeah, it definitely hurts. Look at Mario's nose. Next up is the Fierce Goomba. They're basically just a worse worse version of the Paragoomba, but they do have one advantage. They can stack on top of each other. Is that enough to really bring their score up? I'm not so sure, because structurally, they're not very strong. Next up, we have a literal boss, Knucklotec. I'm gonna give him a 10 for the special category, because he can literally just crush anyone that he feels like. Oh boy, I think we might be coming upon the lowest scoring one yet, the zipper. If there's not a zipper already on the field, then there's literally nothing it can do. I guess it technically could trip people up, so I'll give it a 3 in special. I honestly don't know how I'm gonna rank the mini rocket. I mean, as soon as you launch it into the sky, you can't really control it, and if you can't control it, then what's the point of it? I do think the one redeeming quality of this is that it would be pretty good in a tush push. If you just send this rocket pushing someone from behind, it'll definitely push them over the line. Their butt might be sore for weeks, but it would be worth it. Oh yeah, look at him go. I don't know if that would freak you out if you were playing football, but I think this move would probably freak me out. Glydon's vertical is pretty good, but it's not insanely good. If you were to glide with him across the field, he'd be pretty much unstoppable on offense. Would he fly out of the stadium though? Mario really does need to take everything into account. It's the Mario Kart guy, Lakitu. Lakitu is kind of annoying in Mario Kart when all he does is just pick you off when you just want to drive on the side of the track. So he already kind of loses some points there for me just because I'm biased, I guess. I guess he does have a fish hook though. That could kind of be annoying if he like hooked someone and then started dragging them across the field. Although at this point we're talking about assault charges, so I'm not so sure we want to hire this guy. Oh no, just when I thought things couldn't get worse, we have the Cheep Cheep. He can barely move on land. What am I supposed to do with this guy? I'll give him pity points though for his little vertical here. Okay, but before you guys hammer down on me in the comment section, just hear me out on this one, hear me out. I know these things are just blocks, but they are pretty big size-wise, and they could absolutely crush people as well, but at the same time, they just wouldn't be that useful in an actual match. Mario can float now. This capture is our last capture before we make our next draft pick, and I might be drafting 2 or 3 captures. I guess we'll see. We have the poison piranha playing here. This thing would be pretty good. It could literally just shoot poison all over the field, and it would probably make the ball pretty slippery. Also, the piranha plant could like grab the football in its mouth. This guy can be the ball holder for like field goals and kickoffs and extra points. So that technically is our second official draft pick, but I think I'm gonna draft one more. I'm gonna draft the frog, the very first capture we did, and I'm actually gonna draft the frog as a wide receiver, and I'm gonna move the T-Rex into the tight end position because I just think it fits the captures a little bit better. Like seriously, imagine the frog just jumping in midair and with its sticky hands just snagging a football out of the sky. We really need to start looking for a quarterback for our team, and I don't think Mario really has the range to do it. I mean, he can only throw Cappy like a couple feet. Imagine there's a stack of Goomba defenders right in front of me. All I have to do is climb up and I can jump right above them. What this capture doesn't have in size, it makes up for in its vertical height. I guess one problem is his legs kind of look really thin, so if someone were to tackle him, he'd probably go down pretty easily. Oh, I would not want to go up against this guy. Even a spiky defender like this spiky guy over here is no match for his fireballs. Hiya! And he has a really good vertical. And of course his game face, look at that. Yeah, I would not want to go up against this guy. 10 in offense, 10 in special. Do I need to say more? This capture would be an absolute tank on the field, pun intended. Also guys, am I the only person who didn't know this capture was named a Sherm? I thought it was just called a tank. This tank might be our quarterback because he has a really good range and he can aim pretty much everywhere. But there is one more quarterback contender, and that contender is the coin coffer. Other than the fact that this guy would cost my team a ton of money to pick up because he's literally shooting coins out of his mouth, I think this capture would be a pretty good quarterback overall. His arm isn't as good as the tank, and he also doesn't have as much control as the tank either. He can jump higher than the tank, which I guess is good too, and I think he's a little bit faster than the tank, so if we ever needed to do a quarterback sneak, then this guy's probably the person you want to bring on. Overall though, I just think the tank is going to be better as quarterback. I'm sorry, coin coffer. My wallet is thanking me though. Ah yes, the boulder. The single single best capture in all of Mario Odyssey. This thing scores a 10 in every single category. No, I'm just kidding. This thing scores 1 in every single category. The lowest score possible. At least the cactus as a defender could actually poke people, but the tree here, yeah, it just can't really do much. It can jump like 2 centimeters off the ground, so I guess it has that going for it. Hey, look, there's a fake red tomato. You know what's also red? The subscribe button. So pound that subscribe button if you're enjoying the video. You gotta admit that was pretty good, right? No? No, okay, let's just go to the next. Well, guys, it seems like we're gonna have the worst captures all in a row here, because things are not about to get better. We have the picture match captures. The only good thing about this capture is the fact that one of them has a cool mustache like Mario. I never thought I'd say it, but we have a tie for last place. Things are a little bit better with this next capture. I feel like the Wiggler has some pretty good maneuvers it could do, because it can stretch around and it can even coil around things. So imagine this guy on defense or something just locking people down. You know what I'm gonna do? I think this capture would actually be good as a D line, because if the Wiggler was on the D line, it could just like coil and move around the O line and get to the quarterback to sack them. Not to mention it literally has spikes on its back, so if people tried to jump over it, they would get spiked. Alright, what is next? Oh no. The pole here in Metro Kingdom. This one is going to be controversial, but I genuinely have an argument to make for this. What if the pole was the kicker? Let's pretend the field goal is right in front of me there, and Mario's the football. If I were just to fling myself through it, it would totally be good for an extra point. So yeah, in the next draft, this guy is definitely getting drafted. Okay, I know I said I was going to rank them 1 through 10, but I might give this manhole 0s for all of its categories. I know I'm breaking the rules, but this thing is just so trash. As coach, Mario is in charge of transportation. So how is he gonna get people somewhere if he doesn't have some way to move them? All I'm saying is the taxi could deliver everyone to Sand Kingdom where they're actually going to be practicing at. So I think I might create a new position and hire the taxi as a transportation vehicle. See, look at those drifts. You can't tell me you wouldn't want to drive in that. We are about to draft 5 different characters right now. For our next pick in the Mario Odyssey NFL Draft, Mario selects Tank as the quarterback, Pole as the kicker, Tropical Wiggler as the D-line. I think it's about time we officially drafted the Cactus, and a special taxi for transportation. Our team is really coming together, guys. The RC car would be kind of useless. I feel like it would just get crushed in an actual game. It could weave in between the defense because it's so small. It could like go in between people's legs. We still need a running back, someone for the O-line, and a safety. The Ty-foo. I suppose this one would be pretty dominant because they can just blow everyone out of the way. For example, if we use him here on these spiky things, yeah, I'll be honest, I forgot what they're called. He just completely blows them off. I'm gonna consider him for a safety because I think he'd be good to have on defense in the backfield. If anyone gets past him, he can sort of just blow them out of the way and keep them back from scoring a touchdown. We've only had one capture in the 30s, and the Shiverian Racer almost makes it there, scoring a 28. This person would be a great choice for a running back. The Shiverian is super fast, they can jump around, and they're also really strong. And they're not prone to concussions because obviously they're not getting one, even though they're bouncing on their head a million times. And that's a plus, because I do not want to put anyone on injury reserve if I don't have to. This guy must hit the weight room or something. The Shiverian was our 3rd highest scoring capture, just behind the Pole and the T-Rex. And I have a feeling the Gushin is going to score really high as well. Obviously this one has a great vertical because they can also move forward while going upward at the same time. Size-wise, it's almost good to be small for them because they can just weave in between everyone. The only complaint I can see is that they would run out of water on the field, but I think that's just going to come into smart coaching. Like literally between every single play, Mario's going to have to send someone out on the field to give the Gushin water real quick, or someone on the sidelines is going to have to like splash a bunch of water at him or something. That is our highest scoring capture so far, guys. The Gushin scores a 36 out of 40. I don't even think the T-Rex could stop the Gushin. And he could whack people with his water. Oh yeah, this guy's OP. we have another potentially really good capture. The lava bubble has height. They can jump forward really well. Oh my goodness, guys, wait. This person would be really good for a tush push because they're so good at just diving forward. And I think I would draft him as like a secondary quarterback just for those specific moments when he needs to jump over the line. Next up, we have Volbonans. Excuse me, what in the world is that? These things are commonly known as forks. I'm pretty sure these people would be really good kickers, but at the same time, they only go vertical. What if we make them our punter? Because punters kind of kick upward, and these forks also kick upward, so I think it works. Oh my goodness, we're taking heavy fire from these hammer bros. Look, guys, I am trying to draft you, and I'm probably going to give you a lot of money, so I would not recommend making Mario mad. These guys have a really great vertical as well, but I don't feel like they're better than the fire hammer bros. Meat. Yeah, we have another 0 pointer. Next up is a fire piranha plant. Oh, oopsie, I killed one. Well, I guess we're not gonna draft that one. These ones are similar to the poison piranha plants, and I'm pretty sure if I drafted one of these, they would probably sue me for what I did to their friend over there, so I think it's probably just best to avoid that. For the next pick in the draft, Mario officially selects as a secondary quarterback, the Lava Bubble, the Gushin as another wide receiver, the Shiverian Racer as the team's running back, and a safety, the Ty-foo. Did you guys like the deep voice I did there? Or is that weird? oh my gosh, we're getting in a duel here. There is one really big reason why I'm not gonna draft the Pokio, and that's because I don't want him poking the football and making it deflate. I don't want another Tom Brady situation. We are about to have another monstrosity. The Jizzo might just be born to be a defender. How slow can you possibly go? I'd like to get another running back if possible, because we only have the Shiverian Racer right now. Oh boy, the Bowser statue. This one's sitting at a total of 7 points. I don't really have much to say about it. It's just not that good. I'll give it 2 points for special, just cause it's intimidating. I think the Parabones are okay. They're basically just a Paragoomba, except slightly different. So I'm gonna give them the same score I gave the Paragoomba. Actually, let's drop it a point in the special category because I'm pretty sure these guys are gonna die a lot faster than the Paragoombas are, if they're already looking this old. Oh my goodness, the Banzai Bill. The Banzai Bill is super fast and it could chase people down, so I think it'd be a good idea to draft them as the cornerback in the next draft. I'm pretty sure those Banzai Bills have it in them to absolutely hawk down some wide receivers. Next is the literal football player capture, Chargin Chuck. This guy is built for the game of football. Not only does he have like football gear on him, but he also has like a power where he can just charge through different objects. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna draft this guy as our running back. He is just too powerful. It's time for a rematch, Bowser. It's time to visit our arch nemesis, Bowser. Bowser low-key has it everything. He can plow through blocks, he can chop down blocks, and he can shoot fireballs out of his mouth. I might put him on O-line just to guard the quarterback. I mean, yeah, he would give people scars, but hey, it'd be worth it. And he could also provide the team with some music to listen to while they practice by singing Peaches, Peaches, Peaches. Oh my goodness, this capture is bad. Did you get it? You know, the pun? These guys can sprint. That's kind of funny. At least they have a little bit of hustle in them. I went through all this platforming just so I could get to this capture here, and I already know it's gonna be very bad. It just moves around. That's like all it does. It's such a bad capture. Next up is our boy Yoshi. Yoshi would be so good on offense because he's so fast and he has so much control of where he goes. He can go left and then he can quickly switch right. And not only that, but he can flutter jump over the defense. And you know what else he could do? He could actually probably eat the football and store the football in his mouth and then just run with it down the field. Locking in our final picks, we have Yoshi as wide receiver, Chargin Chuck as running back, Fork as punter, Bowser on O-line, and Banzai Bill as cornerback. There you have it, folks. That is our completed list of what the starting lineup would look like if Mario characters could compete in the Super Bowl. If you want to see my list for all of the official point rankings, I've linked it in the description below. Subscribe for more content just like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.